Okay, so for this video essay or whatever it is, I'm going to be talking about mainly metaphysics. But first, I would like to make the definition clear of metaphysics and what it is. So, the word metaphysics comes from the Greek and it means something like the things after the physics, or as I like to put it, everything beyond the physical world. So we're talking about being, the word itself, existence, God, the origin of everything. Um, so yeah, metaphysics is also the branch of philosophy that studies everything that I just said. Yeah, so that's metaphysics. To continue, uh, and to start getting into things, we're going to be talking about the existence of God, God as we know it as a concept. So, is there a God? Multiple gods? No God? Is God a person? Is it a force? Is it the sum of all that exists? Yeah, so I would like to also make the definition clear. So, if we're talking about God, then maybe we're referring to about the origin of the universe. Um, I am also not very sure of anything because I don't really think about metaphysics this much. I think that we exist and that is everything we need to know. I usually think of many other branches of philosophy, but not metaphysics. But if I had to give an answer to the origin of the universe, um, I think that I would agree with a theory, or well, let me explain first what I am thinking and tripping right now. So everything in life is like a loop. If we see ourselves, we can see that, or at least I can see that I have been many ways in my whole life, like the past 18 years. I can really point out many Jimenas, like many stages of my life, many phases that I can see. I was stuck in a loop, then moved past it, and then got stuck again. And those are like the stages of my life, and I can categorize them in many Jimenas I've been. So we live in a loop, and because we are made of outer space, like everything we are, the components of our skin and of our being and everything that is around us, it's pretty much what came from space, when the earth was created or something, the big bang or whatever you think of, what you believe. um, we are merely um, space stuff. So if we extrapolate what we see in ourselves, because we are the same materials, we can conclude that maybe the universe and everything else acts the same way we do. So if the universe is saying constantly, constantly changing, like Heraclitus said, um, I think that, and also because we know that the universe is expanding right now, maybe we could say that it's going to be there's going to be a point that in which the universe is going to stop expanding and start contracting. So if we know that, then we know that there is going to be eventually an explosion or implosion, or I don't know exactly. And that same explosion is going to be a new beginning. So it's like if there wasn't a beginning or an end, but just a constant loop of the same thing. And it's like, um, we're living here right now, we're going to die, and after the universe. Okay, so to continue, we're going to be talking about the existence of God as we know it. And yeah, so because of everyone's different perspective and ideas of what everything could be, I'm going to be defining what God is and what I am talking about. So to define God, I think it would be the almighty being that created everything. But that's like a Western kind of view, like the Western religion type of view, because the almighty being that created everything. But there is also many other cultures and civilizations that believed in many gods. So I think the definition of God could be a superior being, almighty, or I don't know, but that rules different aspects of life and nature. Yeah. Okay, so is there a God, multiple gods, no God? Is God a person? Is it a force? Is it the sum of all that exists? Well, I don't really think I should be choosing a side. Like, right now, I don't think God exists as Western religions tells us, but let's pretend God exists for a minute. So if God existed, I think that it would be it wouldn't be a person, it would be like a force, a being that transcended everything and doesn't need a body anymore. So he just vibrates, and with all its powerfulness, can infuse life to other beings. But it's also omnipresent and omnipotent. But that's just in the case that God existed. I really think that there isn't a God, as we are told often. But the thing is, I do believe that the concept of God, because we have the concept of God in our heads all the time. Like, everyone knows what is a God and has a pretty similar concept of what a God is. So the concept of God exists. So even if there isn't a God as we're told, the concept and the idea of God exists. So yeah, that's pretty much what I think. Yeah. The last video, I don't know why it stopped, but yeah, I'm going to continue. So after the universe collapses, there's going to be a new one that it's going to eventually continue expanding until it happens the same as the last one. And with that in mind, I think there is going to be infinite universes and realities forever. So yeah, we're stuck in a loop. So now, the nature of reality. I'm gonna make a disclaimer right now, because I don't really think I have enough tools, I have read enough, or I know enough to really put my perspective like a truth, or like something I really believe in. because I don't really know what I really believe in or what I don't, so, right now. So everything I'm saying is something I just thought of and sounds like logical right now. But maybe tomorrow I'm going to be like, no, that sounds dumb. So yeah. Is reality independent of us, or do we create it? Well, I think that I was thinking that, well, something like the plants or the nature, it's completely independent of us. But then I came to realize that because we perceive, and because we perceive everything different from other people, we don't really know what the thought process or perception of others is like. We only know what ours is like. Then I think we create our own perception, and thus we create our own reality. We don't really know if um, someone perceives the color green as red, but because people have told us always like, oh, this is red, and if you think your red is my green, we won't ever know. So we won't ever know how everyone perceives reality. And because reality is only perceivable by ourselves, we don't know how others perceive it, so we create our own reality. And also because I think there is something like a collective reality and our own reality, like ourselves, like individuals. Something like COVID-19, that it has become a collective reality, and we all our perspectives about the virus have come to pretty much the same thing, but there's also the individual reality. And yeah, I don't know if I really made my point, but I'm going to keep going. The thing is that as there is a collective reality, we also have the thing that everything we know, and like language, and like everything we have here, these are things that we created. And like this is a pen, we ourselves made the language, so every concept that we're thinking of is made up by ourselves and by our ideas and perception of reality. So I think reality is totally created by ourselves, some by just ourselves and some by a collective reality that we all have agreed on. Okay, so talking about forms, and if concepts, ideas, or forms have independent reality from objects, I think I do believe in something like the theory of forms of Plato. Like there is a world of ideas and concepts, and they live in our heads. Like my concept of a apple, of a ukulele, and we can picture it, but even if we have the image of the object and the idea exactly of what the object should be, objects in reality won't ever be as perfect as we imagine them, because the concept, it's not reality, it's just in our heads. So yeah, I think concepts are independent from real life objects in that way. I don't know if I made myself clear, but yeah. And well, with all of that said, I think that these are my beliefs right now, because with the information and my cultural background and everything I know thus far, um, these are the things that made more sense to me in a logical way. Like, I don't know, I am not married to these ideas, but these are the ones that for me made more sense right now than everything else. And also because I think that I could spend my whole life thinking about these questions and won't ever get an answer that will pleasure myself, and that I'll be like, oh yeah, I found the right answer, because everything changes, and also my perception and what I think. And yeah, so maybe tomorrow or maybe in 2 years I watch this video and be like, I don't think this anymore. But it's okay, because these kinds of exercises are good to really put into perspective everything, and to start questioning things that we take for granted. I think that many of my ideas connect well with the ideas of Plato, like the things I said about the forms and concepts and ideas being perfect, but when coming into reality, converting themselves into something else, and won't ever be capable of being what we imagined per se. So also the things I said about change, because I do think, like Heraclitus, that life is constant change, and that's why I don't believe in absolute truths. Like, there isn't a single thing here that we know of that will be the same forever. And yeah, I also think, like Parmenides, that said something about there wasn't any use of thinking about nothing, because nothing doesn't exist. We don't have a real concept of nothing, because if nothing is nothing, then it doesn't exist at all. So why bother thinking about it? I think I can extrapolate that to my actual, or right now, what I think about metaphysics. Maybe later in life I'll feel the need to really dig into metaphysics. But right now I think that I am here, I exist, and I know I exist because I can think, and my thought process tells me I am real. I don't know if anything else is real. I don't know if my friends are real, my family is real, but I know I am real because I think, and I can analyze things. So if I know I am real, I don't have a real need to find out about the secrets of the universe. I don't feel the need right now. So yeah. Also, I think I didn't talk about this, but I also believe in the simulation theory. It makes sense to me, but I also wanted to say everything else I just said, and it doesn't really connect with the ideas I said, because if we live in an infinite loop, how can I connect the simulation theory? I mean, I could think of ways, but I think there is a whole different um, a whole different way of analyzing the simulation. So yeah, that was it, I think. Yeah.